Lynch.
Hey, Karl, always a pleasure. We do this in some pretty fun spots, Washington D.C. and now
Yeah.
beautiful Quebec City.
Yeah, now we're.
One of my favorite spots. I love Quebec City.
It is. It is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
It really is, and we're gonna go for a morning drive. Technically, it's still the morning. I think it's
It is.
11:30.
Yeah.
And you just came out of the conference. You just did a webinar.
Yeah, quick podcast with my crew.
Yeah, with your crew.
Yeah.
And let's get a little update for our audience
Yep.
because you've just been pounding out the news releases lately.
Yeah.
And you had some massive results that came out a day or two ago.
Yeah, so we've probably since Washington, I don't know how many assays we released, but quite a few, and they've been, one more impressive than the next. It's the line zone has been remarkable. Really, would be the only word to describe it. We've had, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 holes of where we'd have at least 10 meters of, 10% copper equivalent or better. And it's like, wow. I mean, that just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Ever, not just in Canada but anywhere. So that's obviously a blessing, for us as an explorer to, have been fortunate enough to make that discovery and then to follow it up. It's not we're now down to about 275 meters and the width of that exploration. The sweet zone's about 100 meters. There's about 50, 75 meter halo on either side. But typically, in the Archean belt and in the FTMIG, you would expect if the width is X, the depth will be 8 to 10 times X in these chutes. So we would expect this to go down to 800 meters per 1,000 meters and still be filled with hopefully great ore like what we've mineralized zones like we found. So we'll start drilling. We'll actually start drilling this week. Thursday, Friday. Drills will be rolling, and we'll be going deeper on the line zone and see what the gods have in store for us.
Yeah, well said. Have you had any interesting interactions with shareholders or people that maybe didn't buy the stock? Because you're a pretty active guy, right? You go to pretty much all the conferences.
Yeah, you know what? We've met a bunch of guys that bought, and we met a bunch of guys that didn't buy. And we understand. Investment is all about when the time is right for you on the risk return curve.
Yeah.
So I would say that at 20 cents, obviously we've been long all along. So it's not really fair to think about how would Terry think, because Terry thinks differently than most people. But the 20 cents, with what we discovered with the nickel, I thought were an amazing deal. Okay, but I believe we're a more amazing deal now at 70 cents because of what we discovered at the line zone.
Right.
I think we're worth multiple times more as a result of that. And you look at Bravo Mining, great company, made an amazing discovery in Brazil, and the stock has done fantastic. Right, it's now like over 400 million, I believe. But I look at our project and say, hey, why not us? You know what I mean? We're at 100 million. We could easily be there. You know what I mean? And it's like, and I think we've got some pretty significant exploration upside. I think with the transition to being observed as a polymetallic discovery now, it opens up a whole new way to contemplate how big Nisk could be. The operating thesis we have now internally is that the nickel zone with nickel Nisk main, which is 5.5 kilometers to the southwest of the line zone, is connected to the line zone. So that would create an amazing strike length, of course. And if that happens, then this will become a world-class project, and this will be one for the history books. So the great thing about asymmetric investing is you want to take a little bit of risk, but you want to have a lot of upside. And what I'm saying to people right now in Power Nickel is, yeah, there's risk in every mining deal, and there's risk in Power Nickel, but given what we've already shown,
yeah,
it's very cheap.
You feel like
and like the upside is enormous. So you haven't missed the train on Power Nickel, but it is getting up speed.
Yeah,
it's about ready to leave the station. So now's a good time.
Well, there's good support on the stock. I've seen lots of good healthy bids there.
Yep.
So I saw your news with Carbon X.
Yeah.
I saw that. Do you want to just give a brief update?
Yeah. So I mean, Carbon X is a really great group. They're doing God's work in terms of, in a practical way, helping mining companies offset their carbon, burn. So in our case, really the only carbon, burn we're doing right now is with respect to our drilling. So we've offset, 30,000 meters worth of drilling, so we'll be completely carbon neutral. And it's one of our, we think that's one of Nisk's, attributes is that we can be, a super low, possibly negative carbon, producer, carbon, in terms of carbon costs, for our nickel because of being able to be powered by green hydropower from obviously Hydro-Quebec, and by being an ultramafic deposit, which naturally sequesters CO2, and then by using, if we use the CVMR process and their process, there's 3 ways to make nickel: smelting, hydrometallurgy, and chemical metal vapor process, and that's the one that's most energy efficient, no external air, no external water. Plus they have a full recycling spot, so we could add recycling to it that would completely bring us to a negative situation. So yeah, we think there's ways for us to do mining that's pro-environmental, and why wouldn't we do that?
Yeah.
So that's our goal.
So even though you're pumping out the news releases and being very active right now, you always were active and visible.
Yep.
What can shareholders expect over the next 2 months?
So
you're gonna be drilling.
Yeah. So we'll be more drilling news, of course, coming. I'm actually going to Korea on Friday with CVMR, who's doing the feasibility study on the nickel sulfide project, and we've made some nickel powder from the nickel at Nisk, bringing that over to the Korean battery complexes, the Samsungs and LGs and POSCOs of the world. Yeah.
So you're going to see industry.
Yeah, for the 3rd time. So. And bringing our potential, operating partner over there to introduce them to the Koreans and begin that process of, actually turning it into more of a business development opportunity as opposed to just conversations. So we're actively doing that. So we'll have an update from the CVMR after that trip. So that'll be news. We'll have the annual meeting will be coming up in end of June, early July, and before the annual meeting. We'll put out for the offering circular on the annual meeting when the spin out will happen. So we'll be approving the spin out. We've talked about doing that, in the past, where we're going to move out our copper projects in copper gold in BC and in Chile into a new entity called Pan American Gold Equities, and we think that's the right thing to do for a couple of reasons. One, exploration stage copper gold is different than development stage polymetallic. So that's number one reason. Second reason is we've been on record, and you know me well from the naked short selling world, that we think nickel is heavily shorted naked by we filed at over 10 million shares naked short, we believe. We filed that with Ciro and FINRA, and we've now updated that. We think that's several times worse since then. Plus that's only on 80% of the float. So anyway, there's a boatload of naked shorts out there, and the best way to maybe get these guys is on the spin out, because it'll be a private company initially, just sort of because they can't fake the stock dividend. You gotta have it, and the only guy that's got it is Power Nickel and our transfer agent. So we won't be giving you a dividend unless you can show us that you've got the DRS. So that's coming, and then we've got on the site this week Dr. Beresford, the legendary polymetallic scientist from Australia, who was chief geologist at First Quantum and then MMG and IGO, and he's probably spent $500 million exploring for polymetallics. He's on the site, and so we'll probably have some interesting news coming from that as well. So lots of news coming for Power Nickel.
It certainly sounds like it. What's going on with all the warrants out there? I mean, is anyone exercising warrants?
Yeah. So we've had several million come in. I don't know what the last count is. It's sort of in the 6 or 7 million range, maybe even more, maybe 8.
So that's kind of helping with liquidity.
Yeah, it's helped. Yeah, I think it creates cash for us to do explore, and it's already been baked into the dilution already. So turning it into cash is great. So would expect to get the balance of those warrants in throughout the end of Q2 and early Q3, because we've talked to the people that have them, and what we didn't call them we've given them the nudge, and they're bringing them in.
Anything else? That was pretty healthy there. That's a pretty healthy update.
Yeah.
What are you up to, Terry? In what's going on in your personal life?
My personal life, I haven't had much of one, to be honest with you. I'm actually looking forward to when I get back from Korea. We've got a bunch of stuff. I'll probably be going really until the end of June, hard.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to take 10 days, and hopefully I'm going to go to Italy and kick back and eat some pasta and have a little holiday over there. I've never really done Italy, but love to go see Venice and the Amalfi Coast, and have a little vacation and recharge the batteries. All work and no play makes Terry a dull boy, so we need to recharge and get back at it. Yeah, decompress.
When do you think that the results, the first batch of results would come in? Like, what's the turnaround time?
Yeah, so we're probably looking here, I would expect sometime in August. Yeah.
August?
Yep.
So, okay.
Yep.
Any other conferences? I mean, this is probably the last one.
The one thing I would say is that, remember last February, I think we were talking, and we actually posted the pictures of the rocks, and we said to the world, this is material. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, they didn't believe us at the time.
Yeah.
But now, if you look at those pictures, they were all rock star pictures. They all delivered the goods, and we expect to deliver some more pictures, before the assays come. So, I would say, given our track record, people should be watching for that too.
Right. So you're going to be probably at core shacks and stuff like that at these conferences.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, we're almost back at the conference here.
It's been a pleasure, as always, Karl. A very entertaining and wonderful day to do the drive.
Yeah, I'm just happy for you. And obviously, I own stock, so everyone knows that. And after our last interview, I think 1 or 2 business days later, I bought more stock. I love what you guys are doing. It's been a big win. And congratulations so far to all of the people that got into that financing, the last 2 financings, or if you bought stock recently. And it sounds like Terry and the team are on the right track.
We're doing what we can. We're trying to hit the ball out of the park. So we're going to keep at it.
All right.
Thanks, Karl.
Take care, everyone.
Cheers.